examine the idea or the concept of supremacy. In my first class, we look at supremacy as it affects democratic forms of government, which are federalism, presidential system, parliamentary system, and unitary system. In this particular lecture, we want to look at supremacy of non-democratic systems of government. I repeat, supremacy in non-democratic forms of government. And what are these non-democratic systems of government? We have fascism, we have Nazism, we have totalitarianism. All of these, they are not democratic. They are not democratic because there is no regard for rule of law, number one. Number two, there is no respect for fundamental human rights. Number three, even though there is party system, the type of party system we have here is only one party system. Only one party controls the affairs of the whole state, unlike what we have in democratic systems of government, whereby we have multi-party system. Many political parties compete with one another. But in a non-democratic system of government, only one political party dominates the affairs of the world state. And again, there is no visible periodic elections. There are no visible periodic elections. Of course, there is no freedom of the press. What we have is censorship of the press. The press is censored. Information cannot be given freely by the press. The government must what? Evaluate the information to be disseminated to the public. That is the reason why it is censorship of the press. All of this, I said, existed in all of these non-democratic systems of government, and that is why they are not democratic. In these non-democratic systems of government, there is supremacy of the leader or states. There is supremacy of the leader or state. The leader is the same person as the state. The state is the same person as the leader. I repeat, the leader is the same as the state, and the state is what? Leader. Constitution does not make sense here. There is no regard for constitution here. The most important person is what? The leader. The most important and most respected authority and person in these forms of government is what? The leader. Therefore, the leader is supreme. The leader is what? Supreme. And I have said the state is the same thing as the leader. The leader can do whatever he likes. The power and the authority of the leader cannot be checked. Now, these are the key features of all of these forms of government, or you can even call them, they are more of ideologies too. Fascism, especially, and Nazism, they are also ideologies. They are also ideologies. They are forms of government too. Fascism and Nazism, they are a set of ideas that some set of people in the historic time believe that this is what a state should be. I repeat, Nazism and fascism, they are not really forms of government. They are more of ideologies, a set of belief, a set of ideas by some leaders in the historic time that this is what a state should be. This is how the affairs of the country should be run. And all of this, they are part of the belief and ideology of fascism and Nazism especially. One of the belief is that what? There is supremacy of the what? Leader. The leader is supreme. The authority of the leader should not be what? Questioned. The leader is so very smart enough, is so very intelligent enough in his wisdom to rule the state. Therefore, the ideas of the leader should not be challenged. Any institution or agency or a group of individuals that challenge the authority of the leader, such groups, such agencies are usually what? Suppressed and severely punished. Therefore, the supremacy of the leader, which means that the leader is the highest authority, can carry out any activities or any acts. So far, the leader sees such acts as the best in his own way of reasoning, in his own way of wisdom. That is the supremacy of the leader. Another key ideology, another key belief, let me put it in that way, another key belief of fascism and Nazism as ideologies, or you can also say as forms of government, is that what? Nationalism is upheld. Nationalism is what? Upheld. Nationalism is what? Respected. What do you mean by nationalism? There should be a love. You should have a love for the state. Everybody in the state, everybody in the society must love the state, must put the state as one above any other states across the globe. That is the belief of fascism and Nazism. The indigenes and the people of a state must serve their state to death, if I may put it in that extreme way. Nationalism as an ideology to the fascists and Nazis is that what? The indigenes of a state or country must have extreme love for their country and must die for their country. Their state or society must be their priority. Nothing should be higher in their mind than their state or the country where they are what? Born. That is nationalism. The interest of the state must be at the heart of every indigene of the state. And therefore, the people of the state must work for the growth and development of the states where they are born. Must work for the progress of their what? States. In fact, must not work elsewhere. Must not develop the economy of other societies, but they must be available. They must get themselves inside their society. They must be present in their society to develop their society. They must not go elsewhere to go and develop other societies. They must be in their own country and society and develop their society and country. They must dissipate their energy, technology to the growth of their society and not to the growth of other societies. That is what? Nationalism. As a belief of the what? The fascists and the what? Nazists. Who are the fascists? People that uphold the ideology of fascism. Who are the Nazists? People that uphold the ideology of Nazism, which we are now referred to as forms of government now. They are more of ideology than forms of government. Another important belief of the what? Fascism and Nazism, of course totalitarianism, is corporatism. Corporatism. How do I mean by corporatism? All different groups that exist in the state must not exist outside the state. They must be part of the state. No group, no agency, no trade union must exist outside the state. They must exist under the state. No group can stand on its own. They must be part and parcel of the state. That is the idea of corporatism. Agricultural activities must be carried out within the state. All other economic activities of different forms must be carried out within the state. No organization must exist outside the state. All organizations, all different groups in the society must be under the state. And that is corporatism. Socialism as an idea under fascism and Nazism and of course totalitarianism is that what? The state must control the mode of production and distribution of goods and services. The state must control the mode of production and distribution of goods and services. No private individuals or no private individual is allowed to control the large portion of the economic activities of the state. All economic activities, mode of production, mode of distributions are under the care of the state. Individuals that will have to produce and distribute these goods and services to the people in the state must work under the state. Any private individuals that you see producing and distributing goods and services, they are doing it under the license and permission of the state. They don't exist on their own. That is the concept of socialism as an ideology, of fascism or Nazism, of course totalitarianism. Countries that have practiced in the historic time all of these forms of government or this ideology, we have Italy, we have Germany, we have Soviet Union, and many other European countries. They have adopted all of this, and we should not be deceived. The elements of all of these ideologies are still with us these present and contemporary times. They are historical concepts, yet the element and traces of all of these still exist in the present time. So, in a nutshell, this is an explanation of supremacy in a non-democratic forms of government like fascism, Nazism, totalitarianism. In fact, I remember North Korea also adopts these forms of government. So this supremacy, as it applies to non-democratic systems of government, such as fascism, Nazism, totalitarianism, must be understood with respect to all of these features. Added to these features is what? The issue of propaganda. Propaganda is effectively used. Propaganda is effectively used in all of these forms of government. What do you mean by propaganda? Effective use of communication to disseminate information and messages to the what? To the people on the beliefs and ideologies of the leaders. Propaganda is used in these forms of government to make people believe in the ideologies and philosophies of the world. The state, as exemplified by the leaders of these forms of government, all the people in the state must must have love for the principles and ideologies of the world state, and that can only be done by disseminating and passing information to the people of the ideals, principles of the state. This is done through the use of propaganda. Propaganda in this case means what? Disseminating to the mass of the people, disseminating to the people the ideals, the principles which the state believe in, as exemplified by the what? The absolute leaders of these forms of government. Thank you. As usual, there are many benefits you can always achieve in listening to lectures like this. You can contact me for your further studies. Either you are a university student, polytechnic student, you can reach out to me on 080 61 62 1399. You can also subscribe to my YouTube page to enjoy a whole lot of things like this, to make your reading and study very easy. My YouTube page is Taiwo Muyideen. I will also like to show you a test material that you so much love, because the test material carries a whole lot of questions and exercises. The material will go a long way in making your reading and studying of government very, very easy without you cramming. It is what we call government at ease. This is the material. This is the material. The title of the material is Success Guide Government. Success Guide Government. You can ask for your copy. You can ask for your what? Copy. Don't miss the opportunity. This is a government textbook that solve a whole lot of your problems in the subject of government. It is well prepared for students that are slow and fast learners. Get your copy by contacting me on the number I have said earlier on, 080 61 62 1399. Call me on that number for you to have your own copy of this important government material. Thank you very much.